Hi all, this is a complete guide for Burly's part of the Family Battler achievement. I'll add timestamps in the description so you can easily jump to the fight you want. First up is Hobbyist Aquarist. Your first pet is a Coastal Scuttler with Frost Spit, Stampede and Bubble. Your second pet is Baneaxe with Tongue Lash, Swarm of Flies and Bubble. And finally, just as backup, any frog with Tongue Lash, Healing Wave and Swarm of Flies. This one probably won't be used. Start with Bubble, followed by Stampede, once Stampede is finished, cast Frost Spit until Timbo enters its undead round. Should be 2. Once Timbo is in its undead round, cast Stampede. When Timbo's undead round is finished, Pokey enters and is hit by the 2 remaining rounds of Stampede. Once Stampede is finished, cast Frost Spit until defeated. Once defeated, bring in Baneaxe. Start with Swarm of Flies, followed by Bubble, and then use Tongue Lash until the fight is done. If you get some bad RNG, use your backup frog to finish up the fight. Next up we have Beast Mode. Here we're just going to use any 3 level 25 beast pets, all with the following abilities: Flurry, Crouch and Dazzling Dance. Start with Dazzling Dance, followed by Crouch, and now follow this priority. If Crouch is off cooldown, use it. When the enemy team's pet is in its undead round, refresh Crouch if available, otherwise refresh Dazzling Dance. If Dazzling Dance has 1 round remaining, refresh it, otherwise cast Flurry until all 3 pets are defeated. Now for critters with huge teeth. Here we're going to use 3 rabbits, all with a speed above 292, and all with Flurry, Dodge and Burrow. Start with Dodge, now follow this priority. Use Dodge on cooldown, Burrow or Dodge when the enemy pet is in its undead round, otherwise cast Flurry until all 3 pets are defeated. Next we have Dragons Make Everything Better. Your first pet is Emigosa with Claw, Arcane Storm and Ice Tomb. Your second pet is a Stormborn Whelpling with Frost Breath, Mana Surge and Arcane Storm. And finally Creminius with Bite, Ancient Blessing and Ravage. Start with Emigosa and cast Ice Tomb. Followed by Claw, and then a second Claw. Timbo will now be hit and stunned by Ice Tomb and will swap out for Porky. Cast Claw. Porky comes in and is hit by this. Cast Arcane Storm. All three pets will be hit by this, and due to Timbo having less than half health in the back row, this gives us the 50% extra damage Dragonkin buff. Cast Claw to take advantage of this buff. Now follow this priority. Use Ice Tomb on cooldown, Arcane Storm on cooldown, and Claw to fill until defeated. Porky will sometimes feign death and swap out when Ice Tomb is cast, but the debuff will still apply. My Emigosa died early this time, but you can usually get a few more attacks off. Once defeated, bring in your Stormborn Whelpling, cast Arcane Storm. Again, due to Timbo having less than half health in the back row, this will give us our 50% Dragonkin buff. Follow this with Mana Surge, and then Arcane Storm on cooldown and Frost Breath to fill until defeated. Once defeated, Creminius enters. Use Ancient Blessing when the opposing team's pets are in their undead round, otherwise use Bite and or Ravage to clean up. Next is Element of Success. Your first pet is a tiny snowman with Snowball, Cold Blizzard and Deep Freeze. Your second pet is a Pandaren Earth Spirit with Stone Rush, Rupture and Mudslide. And finally a Jade Tentacle with Scratch and Photosynthesis. Start with Cold Blizzard. Followed by Deep Freeze. And then Snowball. Due to Timbo being stunned, he'll swap out to Porky, who will then be hit by this. Now use Cold Blizzard on cooldown, Deep Freeze on cooldown, and Snowball to fill until your snowman is defeated. Due to the opposing team's abilities being cast randomly, it's hard to predict what the active pet will do or be in case of Porky's feigned death, but just continue with the same abilities if what is happening to you is different from what's shown here. Once your snowman is defeated, bring in your Pandaren Earth Spirit. Cast Mudslide and Rupture on cooldown. If the opposing team's active pet is in its undead round, just pass. Otherwise, cast Stone Rush. If all of your abilities are on cooldown, just pass. If your Earth Spirit is defeated, your Jade Tentacle enters. Use Photosynthesis if any of the opposing team's pets are in the undead round, otherwise cast Scratch until the fight is done. Every try on this fight worked a little differently, but this strat should work fine most of the time. Now for fun with flying. Your first pet is a snow feather hatchling with Falcosaur Swarm, Crouch and Predatory Strike. Your second pet is a Diabig hatchling with Falcosaur Swarm, Iron Skin and Predatory Strike. And finally a Turriclaw hatchling with Alpha Strike, Dodge and Ravage. Start with Crouch, followed by Falcosaur Swarm, once Falcosaur Swarm is finished, cast Predatory Strike and another Falcosaur Swarm. This should put Timbo into its undead round. Once in the undead round, cast Crouch if possible, otherwise pass. Occasionally your Snow Feather can be defeated here early. If this happens, just continue as normal with your Diabig. You'll likely need your Turriclaw to clean up at the end then. Once Timbo's undead round is finished, Pokey enters. Cast Crouch if off cooldown, otherwise cast Falcosaur Swarm, followed by Predatory Strike, and Falcosaur Swarm again until defeated. Once your Snow Feather is defeated, bring in your Diabig. Start with Iron Skin, followed by Falcosaur Swarm, then Predatory Strike, and then just repeat until the fight is done. If needed, use your Turriclaw to clean up. Use Dodge and cooldown, Alpha Strike if you're the faster pet, else Ravage. Now we have human resources. For this one, we're going to use 3 helpers, all with Ice Lance, Cold Blizzard and Ice Tomb. This one is pretty simple, just follow this priority. Cast Ice Tomb on cooldown, unless there's already an Ice Tomb active. This can happen when one of your helpers dies and another is brought in. Cold Blizzard on cooldown, and Ice Lance to fill until the fight is done. You may get some bad RNG from time to time, but in most cases will usually work fine. Now for Magician's Secrets. Your first pet is Willy, with Tongue Lash and Eye Blast, and then 2 Oozlings, both with Absorb, Corrosion and Acidic Goo. Start with Eye Blast, and then use Tongue Lash until Timbo is defeated. Once Timbo is defeated, Pokey enters. Use Eye Blast on cooldown, otherwise Tongue Lash until defeated. Once defeated, bring in one of your Oozlings and follow this priority. Apply Acidic Goo and Corrosion if none are present, otherwise Absorb until the fight is done. Next up is Machine Learning. Your first pet is an Iron Starlet with Wind Up, Powerball and Supercharge. And then any 2 backup pets. I went with Tinytron with Arcane Blast, Lightning Shield and Fire Shield, and a Dark Moon Zeppelin with Missile and Thunderbolt. Start with Powerball, followed by Wind Up to Charge, supercharge, and then wind up the hit. This will put Timbo into its undead round. Cast wind up the charge. Timbo's undead round finishes and Pokey comes in. Cast Powerball. And then wind up the hit. If your Starlet is still alive, use Powerball until defeated. Some breeds of the Starlet can wait for Supercharge to come off cooldown before casting wind up to hit. On Pokey, some can't. So I've done the strat that should work for most breeds. Once your Starlet is defeated, use your backup pets to clean up. If using Tinytron, cast Fire Shield, followed by Lightning Shield, and then Arcane Blast to fill. If using the Zeppelin, use Thunderbolt on cooldown, and Missile to fill. And finally, not quite dead yet. Here we're going to use 3 pets, all with Flurry or Scratch, Adrenaline Rush, and Death and Decay if using infected fawns. Start with Adrenaline Rush. Now follow this priority. Flurry or Scratch until Adrenaline Rush has 1 round remaining. Once Adrenaline Rush has 1 round remaining, refresh it. When the enemy pet is in its undead round, either cast Death and Decay or refresh Adrenaline Rush. This will mostly work, but can fail from time to time. If this happens, just repeat and it should be fine. Hope you found this video helpful, and thanks for watching.